I gritted my teeth and climbed the Dragon Tower overnight. I hoped for a turning point, but a month later, I heard news from my brother. He was demoted another 3,000 miles. Stunned and disbelieving, I returned twice, but the result was that my brother was demoted all the way to a desolate wilderness. I thought this was my first time, and also believed it would be my last. I sold my own purity and dignity in this way. But as soon as I returned home, I discovered that my father had been framed and thrown into prison. Overnight, the once mighty Shen family collapsed. The only person left to rely on was my elder brother, Shen Qingqi, who was stationed far away at the border. But repeated demotions had reduced him from a border commander to an unknown nobody. My mother begged every family we were once connected to by blood or marriage, but all she received were cold stares and closed doors. In the end, my mother pulled me aside and placed all her remaining hopes on me. Wanwan, your incredible and radiant beauty is truly the very last chance that we have left. Per my mother's wish, I, Shen Wanwan, entered the palace. Crown Prince Xiaoyan gazed at me with that look unique to the Shen family. He sized me up, his eyes devoid of any desire. I didn't dare to look up at him, only able to press my forehead tightly against the cold floor tiles. "Raise your head," he said. The moment I met his eyes, I felt as if I had been completely stripped bare, like a rabbit with no fur exposed and naked. I'm the daughter of the Shen family, a person who has had far too much to drink, just a complete drunkard. With a commanding tone, he spoke. "O mighty goddess and Buddha, if you truly wish to act for your dear brother's sake, then I ask you to step forward and let me witness the full strength of your unwavering resolve." So, I ask, how big is that resolve? The way he looked at me didn't seem like he was looking at any other before. The pain, fear, distress, and an unknown sensation covered my body. At the end, I felt use. I felt less than a noble lady. After I got home, Mother asked me, "So tell me, how is he? His Majesty?" "Mother, I have truly done my absolute best, and I pray that God will bless me now." My mother looked away. "May heaven protect you." She prayed, hoping for a dream that at that time was our lifeline. That month was the longest month of my life. Day and night I prayed, hoping that my brother's punishment would be revoked. I hoped for good news from the palace, and I hoped that the Shen family would one day be cleared of all charges. I even began to imagine that perhaps because I had served in the emperor's bed, it might be enough to improve the Shen family's situation in the capital. However, what I waited for was not an imperial decree. Instead, it was a bolt from the blue. That day, a former subordinate who had once served under my elder brother risked his life to return to the capital and brought the latest news. He said that just half a month ago, a batch of inferior military equipment was discovered during an inspection at the border garrison, bearing General Shen's seal. The newly appointed commander was furious and reported the matter to the imperial court. The cold formal imperial decree has finally arrived at last. "Oh, my dear brother, I pray with all my soul that you must be safe and sound. Negligence in military discipline, lax supervision, and now another 3,000 li of grueling exile." The very last thread of hope in my mind suddenly snapped. I slumped heavily onto the wooden table behind me, completely stunned and breathless. How could this possibly happen? Why did it have to turn out this way? I gave absolutely everything I had, yet what I got in return was an even more miserable and cruel fate for my brother. That man, that lofty, distant king, he clearly looked right at me with such a thoughtful, calculating expression. Could it be that everything was just my imagination? My vision went black, and I collapsed straight to the ground. When I woke up again, I was back on my cold bed. My mother was sitting at the bedside, her eyes swollen and red. As soon as she saw me open my eyes, she turned her head away. "This is an absolutely useless thing." Those 5 short words were like 5 sharp knives stabbing deep into my heart, more hurtful than the cold indifference of gunpowder, more despairing than the news of my brother being demoted again. Why would he toy with someone as insignificant as me, a mere woman of no consequence? Yes, it must be because I didn't do well enough, because I failed to truly satisfy him. If once wasn't enough, then I'll try twice. I can't just give up like this. This time, I didn't beg my mother again. I secretly pawned off the last few decent pieces of jewelry I had, and once more bribed that eunuch surnamed Wang. Miss Shen, you're still so filial. Don't worry, I'll definitely take care of it for you. 3 days later, I returned once again to that resplendent gilded cage. It was still the same bedchamber, still the same curtained bed. Xiaoyan was still dressed in that bright yellow robe, sitting behind the desk reviewing memorials. The candlelight outlined his profile, sharp and handsome as if carved by knife and axe, so striking that it made people afraid to approach. I knelt on the ground. This time, the initial fear and humiliation were gone, leaving only a numbness born of desperation. He didn't keep me waiting long. Setting down his pen, he looked up at me. I see that you're back here once again. Your Majesty, I have missed you dearly. With low voice he asked, do you truly miss me, or do you miss the favors I can grant your brother? Pain instantly spread across my face. All my pretenses seemed so laughable in front of him. I am here for my brother, I admit, begging your Majesty to show mercy and pardon him. Could you tell me what your brother typically spends his time doing at the border? I was stunned. Instead of responding to my request, he asked an unrelated question. I didn't dare not answer, so I racked my brains to recall the examples my brother mentioned in his letters. My brother said the wind and sand were harsh, and the soldiers' lives were tough. He would lead people to patrol the defense lines, and in his spare time he would drink and eat meat with the soldiers. Do the soldiers read in the army? Yes. My brother said there was a deputy general by his side who was once a down-and-out scholar and had beautiful handwriting. He asked one question after another, each extremely detailed. From the geography and climate of the border to the personnel structure in the army, and even to the local customs and traditions. He didn't seem like a man making casual conversation about the matter, but more like someone testing a subordinate. This feeling made me restless and uneasy. I tried my best to cater to him, hoping that this time I could satisfy him. But in the end, he remained as silent as before. Only when I was leaving, in those deep eyes of him, did I seem to catch a glimpse of some complex emotion I couldn't understand. Carrying this unease and confusion, I returned home once again. Another month of torment and cold indifference passed. This time, I didn't even have the strength to pray. I simply sat by the window day after day. A month later, news came again. It was that same old subordinate. He almost knelt before me in tears. Miss General Shen, he has been changed again. My heart suddenly sank and I felt numb all over. What is the accusation this time? They said that in Liangzhou on the provincial court, he spoke out of turn. Where has he been demoted to? 1,000 li further to the west. The second time. This is the second time. Once again, my sacrifice has only brought about my brother's failure. Despair envelops me completely. I even start to wonder if Xiaoyan is in league with Liu. That man, so high and mighty, is no savior. He's my harbinger of doom. Every time I humbly try to help brings my brother, he's just playing with me like a cat playing with a mouse, relishing my journey. But why? Why? Why are you so cruel? From hope to despair, the Shen family is finished to scrape together the money for my second entry into the palace. Mother sold off the last few valuables we had. Now, even the ancestral home we've lived in for decades is up for sale. Most of the servants have been dismissed. The once lively mansion is now as cold and silent as a tomb. I live in this tomb, like a wandering soul. I no longer cry or make a fuss. My calm is frightening. Just when I thought my life would be spent wasting away in numbness and deathly stillness, someone from the palace came again. It was still that eunuch Wang, appearing before me with a fake smile. Miss Shen, His Majesty summons you to the palace. I looked up at his face, full of obsequious smiles, and suddenly felt utterly disgusted. My mother stood beside me, her face a mix of panic and a hope she dared not entertain. She wanted to come forward and pull me back, but didn't dare. This was the third time. I was like a puppet programmed in advance, mechanically bathing, changing clothes, and then sitting in that familiar little sedan chair. This time, I couldn't even be bothered to put on that layer of gauze. I walked straight into that magnificent gilded bedchamber dressed in plain white morning clothes. I walked to the center of the hall and knelt down stiffly. Without saying a word, he looked at me, at the white robe on me that symbolized death and despair. He looked into my hollow, lifeless eyes for a long time before finally putting down his brush. This was the first time he showed any emotion in front of me other than indifference. It was a kind of irritation, as if I was wrong, as if all this was my fault. Don't you have absolutely anything at all to say for yourself? Besides constantly acting like some kind of all-powerful god looking down on everyone, who exactly do you think you are to behave this way? He yelled, "I'm being incredibly generous by giving you this one final chance. And is this really how you choose to repay me after everything?" But in my heart, I no longer wanted to please him, nor did I want to beg him anymore. I was just there to complete this final transaction. That night, he was rougher than ever before. I neither resisted nor responded. I just lay there like a beautiful corpse. When dawn broke, I dragged my wounded body back to that home, which was about to no longer belong to me. I didn't wait another month. I knew the final judgment would come soon. Sure enough, 3 days later, the final decree arrived. It wasn't for me, but for my elder brother. Shen Qingji failed his duties in Liangzhou, disappointing the emperor. He is reassigned to the southern borderlands, never to return. Those 4 words, never to return to the capital, came crashing down on Wuqian like 4 great mountains. Upon hearing the decree, someone fainted on the spot. The entire Shen residence was filled with wails of grief. Only I stood calmly in the courtyard. Looking at that imperial edict from the emperor, my face showed no expression at all. Utterly disheartened, there is no greater sorrow. Perhaps this is exactly how I feel now, about this capital, about this home. To me, there is nothing left here worth holding on to. I made a decision. I want to escape, to flee from this suffocating place, to get away from everyone I know. I want to go somewhere no one knows who Shen Juan is. I began quietly making preparations. I secretly took out and sold everything I owned that was still worth some money, but the silver I got in exchange wasn't much. But it was enough. I ran off alone to the ends of the earth. Goodbye, capital city. Goodbye, Xiaoye. But I was still too naive. I underestimated that man's control. Before I had run 10 miles, the sound of rapid hoofbeats rang out behind me. No way, I'm so close to my freedom, my new life. Miss Shen, we are far from the capital now. Please return to the palace with me. Why go back? To let him continue to laugh at me? No, I won't go. Instead of looking back at the memories of the past, you remain forever deeply rooted within the center of my heart. Even if the vast heavens high above us had feelings, they would still remain cold and heartless. In the end, as we parted, I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my lower abdomen. Immediately after, everything went black before my eyes, and I completely lost consciousness. This is the end, I mutter as my vision goes black. I thought I would die on that desolate night, but when I opened my eyes again, what I saw was a bright yellow bed, and what I smelled was the bitter scent of medicine. This is the Imperial Palace. Why am I here? Why? Please, miss, slow down. Your body is still very weak, so you mustn't move around so recklessly. What is happening? I ask. Where am I? I'm old servant Zhang from the Imperial Pharmacy. This is Siyu Pavilion, miss. Don't be afraid. His Majesty ordered this old servant to take care of you, as she helped me back inside the bed with soothing words coaxing me to rest. His Majesty Zhao Yang. That name stabbed into my heart like a painful thorn. What precisely is it what he is looking for? A young boy holding what it looked medicine comes inside, calling for the old lady. Granny Zhang, the physician says this pregnancy medicine must be drunk hot. My mind buzzed, and then it went entirely blank. Everything still felt completely flat there, but I could sense that a deep part of me seemed fundamentally different. Don't be afraid, miss. The imperial physician said you are already 2 months pregnant, but because you were traveling around before, the exhaustion affected your pregnancy, so you need to rest and recuperate well. 2 months pregnant? I sat there in a complete daze. My mind was in a state of absolute and total chaos. Counting back through the long days, it must have surely been from that very first time I lost my innocence. No, please God. I cry in desperation and frustration. This is the last thing I wanted. I actually ended up pregnant with that executioner's child. This hostage is even more unbearable than being killed. Why on earth did I have to get pregnant with his child? My entire escape plan, and that beautiful new life I wanted so badly, all of it has been completely and utterly disrupted by this sudden, unexpected child. I won't drink it. I don't want to. He suddenly yelled, "You dare to defying my will." Enough with the fuss. Now that you carry the dragon's heir, just settle down and stay here. From today on, you are my evening attendant. Live here in Suyu Pavilion and keep yourself safe and well for me. He gave me the lowest possible rank, this Suyu Pavilion. Suyu Pavilion is the most remote and desolate palace in the entire palace complex, where only those who have lost favor and fallen into poverty. From the moment I decided to climb the Dragon Tower, my life had already slipped out of my control, and now this man has pushed me into an even deeper abyss. The news of my pregnancy spread through the entire harem like a gust of wind. I became the object of every woman's jealousy and scrutiny. A lowly born woman, a woman of unknown origin, actually became pregnant with the imperial heir. This was undoubtedly a bombshell in the strictly hierarchical harem. The one who hated me most was Consort Liu Shuyuan. She was the legitimate daughter of Prime Minister Liu, the emperor's most favored consort in the harem, and also my mortal enemy. The evidence used to frame my Shen family was fabricated entirely by Prime Minister Liu himself. Now that I am pregnant, to him, I am a thorn in his side, a pain in his flesh. I was placed under house arrest in Suyu Pavilion, and Xiaoyan never came to see me again. But Consort Liu clearly hasn't forgotten about me. The person who came was her palace's headmaid, who stood before me arrogantly and slammed the medicine bowl heavily onto the table. "Change your clothes. This is a special medicine the consort asked for you. You'd better drink it while it's hot." Her tone sounded less like concern and more like an order. Looking at that bowl of pitch-black medicine, a sense of foreboding surged in my heart. Since when has Consort Liu ever been so kind? I don't believe it. I can't just sit here and wait for death. A thought quickly formed in my mind. Very well. Thank you, Your Grace. After I finished drinking, the palace maid turned and left. As soon as she was gone, my only personal maid, Liang Xin, caught my eye. I gave her a look, and she understood, stepping forward to pick up the medicine pill and bringing it to her nose to sniff. Something's wrong? There's a problem with it. I was placed under house arrest in Suyu Pavilion and Xiaoyan never came again. But Consort Liu had clearly not forgotten about me. The person who came was the head palace maid from her quarters, who stood before me arrogantly and slammed the medicine bowl heavily onto the table. "Change your clothes. This is a special medicine the consort requested for you. You'd better drink it while it's hot." Her tone, rather than concern, was more of a command. Looking at that bowl of pitch-black medicine, a sense of foreboding surged in my heart. Would Consort Liu really be so kind? I don't believe it. I can't just sit here and wait for death. A thought quickly formed in my mind. Very well. Thank you, Your Grace. After seeing me finish drinking, the palace maid turned and left. As soon as she was gone, my only personal maid, Lianshin, caught my eye. I gave her a look, and she understood, stepping forward, picking up the medicine bowl and bringing it to her nose to sniff. Something's wrong. There's a problem with it. I knew that my performance had to be convincing enough to attract the only person who could save me. Not long after, a rush of hurried footsteps approached. Xiaoyan had arrived. "What happened?" he asked. "Your Majesty, just now, Consort Liu sent someone to deliver a bowl of medicine to protect the pregnancy. After Our Lady drank it, This is what happened. Don't touch me, young master. Is this what you call letting us stay here in peace? Is this how you protect your child? Your Majesty, the old maid checked my pulse in the bowl. This matter, this is, she paused. There are signs of safflower in it, which is strictly forbidden for pregnant women, the maid confirmed. His gaze swept across the room and finally landed on Li Wei. Go investigate, he yelled. Very soon, the palace maid who delivered the medicine was brought in. Yes, it was Consort Liu who ordered me to do it. After that miscarriage incident, Sui Yuxuan seemed to become a forbidden person in the palace. Consort Liu was put under house arrest, and the other concubines also avoided me as much as possible. But Xiaoyan, on the contrary, began to visit me frequently, which was very unusual for him. He never stayed the night. Every time he came, he would only sit for an hour or two. Sometimes he would bring a chessboard and play a game with me. Sometimes he would unroll a painting and ask me to grind ink for him. Most of the time, he would just sit there drinking tea, seemingly casually asking me about interesting stories from among the common people. He asked me which shop in the capital had the best pastries and what styles of jewelry were popular among young women. He also asked me what kind of place the southern border, where my elder brother was stationed, really was. As I was trimming a pot of narcissus for him, my hand paused on the scissors, and so did my heart. I was frantically analyzing the intention behind his words. Why did he suddenly take an interest in the products of the southern border? Was it because my brother was stationed there? Your Majesty, I have only heard a little about it from my brother's letters. He said the south is hot and humid, with exotic flowers and fruits rare in the central plains. Their military gear differs from the north, too. Rattan armor and male-female formations. I steered the talk to equipment. Xiaoyan's eyes flickered. My brother said the terrain is unique. While heavy armor is standard, rattan is lighter and tougher, ideal for mountain combat. After I finished speaking, I lowered my head and continued tending to my narcissus. I said nothing more. I didn't know whether my answer satisfied him or not. Every one of his questions was a test of my knowledge, a test of my temperament and of my worth. I heard that Consort Liu was so furious, she smashed several sets of precious porcelain in her own palace. The more flustered and exasperated she became, the calmer I felt. I understood. Xiaoyan put me in the eye of the storm. I was just a stone he cast to test how deep the waters of the harem truly were, and Consort Liu's reaction proved that this stone had stirred up exactly the ripples he wanted. I began to take the initiative to gather information within the palace. I had Lianxin, my maid, use the silver rewards we received for this purpose. She went to build good relationships with the young eunuchs and palace maids from each palace. I needed to know where Xiaoyan went and whom she met every time she left me. I had to know. I wanted to learn about every single concubine in the harem, their family backgrounds, their favor, their honor, and disgrace. I needed to find my own place on this vast chessboard to clearly see the movements of every piece on the board. In the stillness of the night, I often caressed my gradually swelling belly, feeling lost. I didn't know what Xiaoyan truly wanted to do. The higher it lifted me up, the harder I would fall. But I had no way out. For the sake of this child, and for myself, I had to cling tightly to this man called Xiaoyan, even if it might drag me into deeper waters at any moment. An invisible net was slowly spreading out with me at its center. And I was both the prey and the hunter who had to weave that net. As my belly grew bigger day by day, Xiaoyan came to see me more often, and my status rose. Although I was still just a lowly attendant, no one in the palace dared to look down on me anymore. After Consort Liu's period of confinement ended, she became even more arrogant than before. She didn't dare to target me directly, so she took out her anger on my daily necessities. The efforts of Sui Yuxuan were always blocked by the Internal Affairs Bureau with various excuses. During the winter, all the other palaces used silver-threaded charcoal, but what was sent to us was only smoky, sooty black charcoal and fresh fruits. When it got to me, All that was left were scraps. I was furious, and several times I wanted to confront them, but arguing with a bunch of lackeys was pointless. What I was dealing with was their master. The next day, the Imperial Household Department was in an uproar. Xiaoyan didn't directly punish the stewards who had withheld my expenses. Instead, he ordered more. The head eunuch was a plantation by Consort Liu, and the evidence was irrefutable. Xiaoyan ordered that head eunuch to be beaten to death in front of all the servants of the Imperial Household Department. Then he made a decision that surprised everyone. He handed over the jurisdiction of the Imperial Household Department from Consort Liu's faction to his rival, the virtuous consort, who had always been unassuming. The virtuous consort came from a scholarly family. Her father was a high-ranking official in the court. She was upright and fair. I borrowed the Emperor's knife, weakening my enemies with minimal effort, while I myself remained unharmed. That night, Xiaoyan came again. He sat by my bedside. I was sitting under the lamp when he suddenly said, "You are sewing a tiny tiger head hat for my unborn child." At his words, I accidentally pricked my finger with the needle, and a drop of blood quickly welled up. How could I possibly be happy about it? He looked at me and suddenly smiled. The smile was faint, yet like a ray of sunlight it instantly dispelled the coldness that always surrounded him. "You really are a little fox. My prince will look absolutely magnificent and impressive once he is wearing this." He clearly saw everything, yet chose to play along with my act. A tacit understanding seemed to have formed between us. I felt I understood his thoughts even more deeply. He wasn't just using me. He was also teaching me, instructing me on how to survive in this insane harem. The snow fell for 3 days and 3 nights, transforming the entire palace into a silver-clad world. The red brows bloomed exceptionally brightly in the snow. Xiaoyan came almost every day. He usually did nothing but sit by the window, watching me trim my eyebrows and brew tea. Today, however, he brought a stack of memorials. He sat behind the table, head bowed, moonlight streaming down his face, focused intently. I quietly ground the powder for him. The room was warm and cozy with fine silver charcoal burning, a scene of serene beauty that almost gave me the illusion that we were just an ordinary couple. But I knew it was all an illusion. He seemingly casually placed a completed memorial on the corner of the table, a spot I could easily see with my eyes down. Troop movements in the southern border, my brother's name. Why would it appear here? Wasn't my brother, the former general of the Vanguard, demoted to commoner? How could he have become a general in the southern border? How is that possible? There was an imperial edict forbidding my brother from returning to the capital. He issued it himself. What on earth is going on? In that moment, for the first time, I saw a clear emotion in his usually calm and inscrutable eyes. It was a kind of composure that comes from being in control of everything. He had been waiting for this moment for a long time. All the previous doubts suddenly connected together. Why Liangzhou? Why was I assigned to guard the border? It turns out he had already started making arrangements back then. All of this was orchestrated by him. He wasn't tormenting me, nor was he toying with me. He was protecting me, brother. The imperial edict from Beijing was issued by him personally. What exactly is going on here? At that moment, for the first time, I saw a clear emotion in his usually calm, unfathomable eyes. It was a kind of composure that comes from being in control of everything. He had been waiting for this moment for a long time. All the previous doubts. They all connected together. Why? Why did he ask me about the borderlands and their customs? So it turns out, he had already started making arrangements back then. All of this was arranged by him. He wasn't tormenting me, nor was he toying with me. He was protecting my brother. He managed to keep my brother safe right under Prime Minister Liu's nose. He even gave him a chance to make a comeback. I never realized the depth of his feelings. So all the despair I experienced was just a move in his grand scheme. How much pressure has he borne that I know nothing about? Hua Shen, cherish it. I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I've misunderstood you for so long. It was me. I was too foolish. So all the despair and pain I went through were just a step in his grand scheme. Just how big of a game is this man playing? The night is deep, and all is silent. Xiaoye did not leave. He dismissed all the workers, and in the vast sleeping quarters, only the two of us remained. The flickering candlelight stretched our shadows long. At last, he laid his cards on the table with me. The Liu family has been operating in the court for many years, with their faction deeply rooted and widespread. Your father's case, but the evidence presented by the Liu family was flawless, and the officials handling the case in court spoke on their behalf. If I were to forcibly overturn the verdict, it would only cause turmoil in the court, and the losses would outweigh the gains. Your elder brother, Shen Qingqi, is a rare military talent in the capital. If I keep him here, he would be nothing more than a piece of meat on the Liu family's chopping block. At any moment, he could be accused of any crime and die quietly without a trace. So I had to send him away, to a place where the Liu family's influence is weakest and least expected. The first time I demoted him to Liangzhou to remove him from the vortex of the capital. The second time, I used the excuse that he offended his superior and demoted him another 1,000 miles so that he would completely disappear from the Liu family's sight. Finally, we had to part ways, and the last time, I assigned him to the southern frontier. There, the sky is high, and the emperor is far away. No matter how far the Liu family's reach extends, it can't go that far. More importantly, the commander guarding the southern frontier is my teacher. He is also the person I trust the most. As soon as your brother arrived there, he was secretly protected by him and enlisted in the army under an assumed name. Relying on his own abilities, he gradually rose to the position of guerrilla general. I finally understand now. So every transfer was never a punishment, but each time was a transfer and protection. Then, what about me? Why did you treat me the way you did? The first time you came to seek the truth, your mother, in her desperation, sought help everywhere, and the Shen family was eager for quick results. If I had shown you favor at that time, it would have only made the Liu family more vigilant and hastened their persecution of your brother, so I had no choice but to do the opposite. The more I favored you, the harsher the punishment your brother had to endure. Only in this way could I lull the Liu family into a false sense of security, making them believe I was only captivated by your beauty and cared nothing for the fate of the Shen family. At the same time, I was also testing you. I wanted to see, after all the blows and despair, what kind of person the daughter of the Shen family truly was at her core. Would she be broken by it all? Or would she find the strength to rise up and fight back from the absolute depths of bitter despair? My tears once again blurred my vision. His eyes as clear as the moon and stars. He wasn't just making plans, he was also probing my humanity, testing my character. Fortunately, you did not disappoint me. The palm of his hand was warm and dry, conveying a reassuring strength. Even more clever. At this moment, all misunderstandings and resentments vanished into thin air. Looking at the man before me, a surge of complex emotions welled up in my heart. There was affection and admiration, and also heartache. For the sake of protecting the Shen family and purging the court, he bore so much all on his own. He couldn't confide in anyone, and could only lay out a vast, inescapable net in secret with such cold and ruthless methods. And I was the most important, yet also the most dangerous part of his plan. The entire hall was painted in bold, heavy strokes. So what comes next? What should I do? Now that I'm already involved, now that I already know the whole truth? I can no longer be a passive pawn. I want to become his helper, his ally. I need a pair of eyes to help me keep watch over the harem. Liu Shuyu is the most important pawn the Liu family has in the palace. Taking him down is equivalent to cutting off one of the Liu family's arms. From today on, what you need to do is continue playing the role of a foolish woman, arrogant because of favor, ignorant of her own limits. As the wind sweeps across the vastness, I am willing, from this moment on. I am no longer that humble Shen Juan who begged for survival to save my brother. I have officially formed an alliance with her. We are ruler and subject, comrades in arms, and in this deep palace, each other's only support. My battlefield is in the harem. His battlefield is in the imperial court. We will fight side by side for the Shen family and survive for me, my family, and my child.